Well, Mr. Strong Black Super Chemist here with part 2 of number 1 life hack. And it's a Pastafarian sermon. Do it every Sunday. This is part 2. Hopefully I'll get it out today, like part 1. But anyways, where were we at? Okay. We're talking about your past mattering. You're talking about, picking a spouse, how it's a duty for a Pastafarian to pick out a good spouse that's going to be a good husband or wife and a good father or mother. Um, so, anyways, why does your past matter? Like these women saying, Gen Z women saying how they can have a hoe phase in their 20s and that, it's no big deal, it's the past and that's the past and only the future matters. No, the past matters because just like if you go get a job or whatever, the past matters. You find out your friend, if I, find out tomorrow my friend raped 30 babies, yeah, I'm going to be like, yeah, your past matters, buddy. You know what I mean? You're probably not going to be my friend after that, right? Yeah. Or if you go get a job, obviously they want to know your references. Because if you did bad in your 10 jobs you just did before this, you're probably going to be bad in this job. If you did good in the last 10 jobs, then obviously you're probably going to be good in this job. So how is your past? I don't understand how, well, I know humans are just stupid. You can talk them into anything. But, yeah, the past matters. And as a Pastafarian, you should be, and why it is because it's habit. It's all about habit. If you're looking for a job and you were bad in those 10 jobs, you have the habit of being bad. And habits make more habits. Good habits make more good habits. Bad habits make more bad habits. Um, and if you've been sleeping around for 20 years or 10 years in your 20s, guess what? You got the habit. You ain't gonna just stop. Okay, that's crazy talk. It's just like if a guy, if you're, he's smoking weed and getting high and whatever for 10 years, and then he's like, then I'm just gonna quit. No, no, you're not gonna quit. Not after you have 10 years of habits or something. I don't care what the habit is. It doesn't have to be drugs. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be gambling. It just can be cleaning your room. If you have a habit, that habit's going to stay for you forever. So it's best to just have good habits in the first place, okay? And your whole life, what's funny is you make your habits in your childhood and your 20s, okay? That's where all your habits are made, okay? And that's only like up to 30, really up to 25. That's only like 1/3 of your life. You have 2/3 of your life after that. You know what I mean? And so you can either make the good ones, because once you have the habit, it doesn't matter. It's no big, like to clean your room or keep this, when you walk in, instead of throwing your coat on the floor, you put it on the hook. It doesn't, once you have the habit, it's not work to you. It's just habit. You know what I mean? It's just habit to hang it up there. And now later on, you don't have to, pick up your coat because you just throw it on the floor. It's just habit. And that's why you have to look at your woman's past relation. If you have a woman who has 3 babies to 3 different men, then you're being a very bad Pastafarian if you marry that woman. Okay, that's crazy talk. Okay, um, and I wanted to talk about, and it's not just habits, like say for the when you're promiscuous as a woman. Okay, it's not as much about habit. Okay, although it is about habit too. But there's a more important thing to learn or know, and I don't understand why people don't get this or whatever. But anyways, both men and women and all mammals have a pair bonding mechanism. And what a pair bond mechanism is, let me give you an example. everyone knows from sitcoms or whatever, you'll have the guy, person or kid or whatever finds an egg, and they take it home, and it hatches, and it's a duck. And the first thing that the duck sees, he imprints on that person. If the duck sees the mama duck, then that's the mama. If he comes out of his egg and he sees a little human girl, then he'll imprint on that little girl and think that that's his mommy. He'll follow it around wherever she goes. If I was there and no one else, and the egg, broke open, and the goose or whatever, duck or whatever, sees me, he'll imprint on me, and he will think that he will bond. It's imprinting, parental imprinting is a similar type of bond mechanism as the pair bonding mechanism. Okay, it's just very similar. Okay, and when the baby comes out, he'd see me. I would be the mama. I could walk around, and that little ducky would just follow me around no matter where I went, man. It would never leave me alone because he would think I was the mama. Okay, so pair bonding, that's called. I forget what I just called it. What did I just call it? Oh, imprinting. That's called an imprinting bonding mechanism. Okay, the pair bonding mechanism is between mates. Okay, the female and the male. Right, when they have sex. Right, you have hormones and chemicals that are excreted in the brain and in the rest of the body. That is, serotonin, endorphins, basically things that make you high. You know what I mean? Just like a drug. If you take a drug, you have more serotonin, more endorphins, more this, more that. You know what I mean? It's basically the same exact thing. That's why you feel like you're high when you first fall in love. It's the hormones and the chemicals going off in your brain and stuff. And when you have sex, you have this kind of imprinting, right, on each other. Okay, and that's the reason why it is so that two cavemen and a cave woman, so that they stay together. You know what I mean? And because they're going to need to protect the baby. You need the woman to watch the baby and the man to protect the baby and provide. But the thing is with this pair bonding, right? With a man, he can have sex with someone, and 6 months later, that pair bonding, because every time when you have sex, you have a pair bonding mechanism, right? You have, a woman has sex with a man, she still has 100% of that mechanism there, right? But when she has let's say she breaks up with that man and she goes and has sex with another person, right? That's the first person after him, right? Now her pair bond mechanism is only 80%, okay? Instead of 100%. That mechanism that allows her to bond with her mate, right? Now let's say she goes, and after you, right, you just break up, she goes on to not just one person, but she goes on to 3 people. 1, 2, 3. Now her pair bond mechanism is down to 50%. Okay? And say she, instead of 3 people, 5 people after you, right? And you figure plus you, so that's really 6. All these are numbers plus the first person, you know what I mean? So that would be down to 20%, okay? Now let's say it was 7 people she slept with, plus you. Now it's down to 10%. Anything greater than 7 people plus you, you might as well say it's down to 0% at that point. They have zero pair bond mechanism. 0. They literally cannot pair bond with a mate. It's not possible at that point. Okay? So this is what needs to be taken into consideration, right? As a pastafarian, because What's the most important thing to an apostafarian? Family. Because good families make good, communities, and good communities make good societies or countries, whichever one you want to call it. And the number one thing, like I said, and this is the number one life hack too, is you need to know her habits, right? It's not just about you having good habits, right? This life hack. It's about picking a spouse who also has good habits. Because her habits, if she has them, if they're good, she'll make more good habits and more good habits. If they're bad habits, then she will continue to have them bad habits and make more bad habits and more bad habits and more bad habits, more bad decisions. Okay? If you see that the mate that you have has poor decision-making skills, you know what I mean, that they have, 3 baby mamas or daddies or whatever the hell you call it, and, or they're just out getting high or getting drunk all the time, and, then why do you want your child to be raised by that person? I understand you fall in love. Trust me, no one knows more than me because I spent my whole life trying to catch that love drug feeling, man. Trust me, I spent my whole life, man. That was a bad thing to do. Because all it did was got me bad people that I was with. They were all horrible. Because I had low self-esteem because of my childhood. And picked bad people, man. Bad people. But I should have, if I was strong enough, if I came from a good, strong family, I could have been strong enough to, know what was right and wrong. That it wasn't that, it was my duty to make sure that I had a spouse that was a good spouse. You know what I mean? It's a good mother to my kids, and I didn't do that. I didn't realize how important it was. I thought love would, hey, if I'm in love and she's in love, that's all we need, baby. No, that's actually very down on the bottom of the list. I'm not saying you shouldn't be in love. I'm just saying love, that kind of fairy tale, butterfly effect, that's only 6 months, a year, 2 years. Maybe if you're very, 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 very lucky, it might be 3 years or something, And after that, it goes to another type of love. That type of love where you're supposed to have duty to each other, and have respect that each party did their duty. Like the man should have respect for the woman because she did her duty as a mother, as a wife, as a whatever, and she should have respect for him because, he did his duties. He's providing and protecting the family and the whatever, you know what I mean? And that alone makes two people love each other. I don't understand why these people, like, what do you want, man? If you had someone, if I had a woman who did that for me, I would just love her forever, man. I just don't know how to get people, man. So you need to realize all this stuff, and you need to realize that this one more thing here, that well, actually a couple more things. But I want you to realize that the divorce rate is supposedly 50%, okay? And this is what you call data manipulation. And if you watch my video series, my playlist called the climate change or global warming or whatever it was, climate crisis, you'll know that, yeah, I love data manipulation. I love going into data and just ripping out the lies that they have. But anyways, yeah, it is 50% divorce rate. But I want you to think of this, right? Okay, if you take according to this data, okay, if you take 100 marriages, right, 72% of them will succeed. Only 28. Okay, we're just going to take a third video, I guess. Maybe a fourth. I'm going slow here, but you all have a blessed day.